Hi guys, welcome back to another weekly reading vlog. How are you guys doing? It is nearly the end of April and I am so proud to say I have only finished 2 books in this month, which is terrible. I think it is the worst month so far in 2024, and so I need to work a little bit harder in this week because it is last week. In this week reading vlog, I have 2 books that I really want to finish and I will push myself to my limits to do so. The first book I want to finish is The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang, although you can't really see from this book jacket, but it is really the Poppy War. As I said in the last week reading vlog, I will try to read as much as I can during the weekend. I'm happy to say that I've got to part 3 of the book, which means that I've got only less than 100 pages left. I'll chat about it a little bit more later in the vlog because I am really liking it. You guys are right. Poppy War is great. All the references R.F. Kuang has done here is like hunting the Easter eggs to me. Other than these references, I also really like the character and the plots, and it is really brutal and bloody. I will try to deep dive a little bit about all these Chinese cultural references, all these kind of elements, just in case you guys are interested in it and what I would think about them as like somebody knows Chinese history. Because reading all these references, all this research is really fascinating to me, and I hope that I can finish it by tomorrow because I've got not too much left. The second book I would like to finish in this week's vlog is Vaultage by Chris Jen Sugden. It is the March GSFF book, and to me, this book is like a palate cleanser from those chunky epic fantasy series I have read in this month. It is compared to This World by Terry Pratchett, meaning that this book gonna be fun, inventive, twisty. I think this book is about 2 private detectives in London in the 19th century. With limited police force, these 2 detectives are gonna help to investigate a mysterious kidnapping, and of course there's gonna be more about it. I look forward to read this one because it is so different from what I've read, and also I am so confident in Gosper's recent choices. It is nearly evening now, so I will try to read a little bit more of The Poppy War before cooking dinner. And I guess I will see you in the next update. So, see ya! Hi guys, this is Dan. I'm happy to bring you a good news. I have finished The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang in this morning, and I really like the plot, the characters, and how everything concludes. Rindy's character by no means is perfect. In the first half of the story, she put a lot of effort into her study to find her place in the world. And there is also some hints about fire in the belly and also the political instability. In her lesson with Zhang, there will be meditation. There will be philosophical discussion about what is God, how you relate yourself into the nature. It looks quite peaceful at that moment, but not until the invasion of the Federation. The characters we have been following are just students, and in this hostile environment, it pushed them to grow. They may need to really kill their very first person, and so Rin also awakes her power. So she was relocated to this new crew called the 刺客, literally meaning the assassins. She will meet some new colleagues and also an old friend. Most importantly, she's gonna witness the horror of what the Federation has done. No matter it is now or in the past, killing or experiment. I guess it is like the changing point for Rin. Burn all the people coming from the Federation because they don't see the people from Nikan, where Rin was from, as equals. They may have made some questionable decisions along the way, and finally, Rin make her own decision, playing with the gods. Her story is definitely tragic here, and I would definitely keep on reading this series because there are still some dangers out there. Other than the plot and the characters, let's chat about the cultural references in this book, and let me put this book down first. R.F. Kuang has adopted the 5 elements, metal, wood, fire, water, earth, into the martial art style. They are actually quite common in Chinese cultures, and they represent a certain part of the nature. These 5 elements are like balancing with each other. Some may overpower another one, and the other one may weaken another one. You can use it to predict the future of one person, and also some Chinese medicine concepts can be explained with these 5 elements, and it is also used in a calendar to name the days. In the story, there are 4 gods: the tiger, the dragon, the bird, and the tortoise, and they defend their own directions. south, east, north, west, and they are like the defender of the realm. Later in the Poppy War, we also heard about the Jade Emperor. This is like the god of the god in the sky, and here also comes with another folk story, Journey to the West. It is a story based on a history happened in the Tang Dynasty. A monk from China traveled all the way to where now India is for some secret passage. On his way, he gonna meet with 4 companions and also some other monsters. This monster thinking by eating the monk they could live forever, so they are always in danger. One of the companions of the monk is actually a monkey. Before joining the monk, he was really naughty and messed around with where the Jade Emperor is living. As a punishment, he was trapped under a massive mountain until the monk has found him. So I guess the prison for the shaman in the Poppy War is based on this part of another story. After talking about these little fun Chinese references, here comes with a really sad, tragic Chinese history. Although there are some records about opium in earlier China, not until in 19th century, Britain exported loads to China. The reason behind is really simple, financial gains. At that time, opium, this drug, got a better name for marketing. Let's say it is for leisure, it is for happiness. So you can imagine addiction, this problem is really serious and common at that period of time. There are some real photos of people just lying down in bed, piping, spend the day like that. It just not happened to one group of people, but a lot. You can imagine it's like rows of people lying down just for this drug. Even though the Qing government, the ruling government at that time of China, wanted to stop this addiction problem and also stop paying so much to the foreign powers with this drug. But unfortunately, this led to the 2 opium wars. At last, China lost and it has to sign different treaties to concede its territories and paying some money to the foreign powers. And in the story, there are some characters using opium to get high, to, leave this world temporary, to not thinking about any shit that is happening in real life. But don't use drug, guys. And later in the 20th century comes with the Sino-Japanese War. I won't go into every detail of this conflict because it is a long, complicated historical period of time. I'll just try to point out some relationship with the Poppy War here. Basically, very briefly, Japan went through Meiji Restoration, so it was a really powerful, strong nation. It was highly modernized, industrialized, and westernized. It can even defeat Russia, another superpower at that time. Of course, ambition this thing never stopped and it started the invasion of China. In terms of the Poppy War in this part of the history, the first thing pop up in my mind is the Golden Knees, which is in the real life the Nanjing Massacre. In the story, it was really graphic, really violent, really tragic to what the Federation has done to people in there, and it is basically very similar to what happened in real life. I won't go into the detail of it because it is just too graphic, too violent. In history, there were even 2 Japanese generals try to compete who gonna kill the most people in Nanjing. And the death count generally agree is over 200,000 of people. The second thing that has happened in real life is the pleasure house, where the woman was used against their wills by the Japanese man. And some of the women are not even adults yet. Again, it is just too difficult to say anything more about it, but keep in mind this does not happen to only China but also other regions that Japan has occupied. Let's say Taiwan, Korea, Indonesia. Coming to now, there are some controversy about this topic because some scholars will argue that some women are actually willing to do so. But I think it is still like the darkest part of Asian history. You can find memorial statues to remember this topic across the world like in Korea, Taiwan, San Francisco, and New York. The last thing I can associate with is the laboratory and the experiment. In the story, there was the use of the poison gas, and in real life it happened as well. It also used human as a subject to test the power of it, so again, it is not good. So here are my thoughts about the Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. Sorry, I know that it may be on the lengthy side compared to before. I won't share too much about one particular book, but I think it is a good chance for me to share my thoughts on the history in the past. When you think about it, it is not long ago. It is just around 100 years ago. And I don't think that there will be quite a lot of lessons in the West talking about this part of Asian history, so here you go. So today is the last day of April and I finally picked up my 4th book of the month, and it is Vaultage by Chris Jen Sugden. All I know about this book is by the synopsis, so I guess I will see you again when I read a little bit more. So see ya! So here comes with another update. Today is a little bit dark and I have just finished my laundry. When will my clothes gonna be dry? For my reading, I've done 130 pages of the high voltage, so I guess I can talk about it a little bit more. In this story, we're gonna follow two characters, two private detectives. One is called Fleet. For some reason, he has to leave the police force. And the other one is Cara. She is a noble from the Yorkshire and traveled down to London to be a journalist. Before they were investigating the same crime and later they opened an agency together. This Victorian London is not the one that we know. It is actually happening in a parallel world where we got some sort of steampunk-ish vibe to it. This London is actually called Even Greater London. We got like a massive tower that's gonna generate electricity by pulling up the thermal power. So the Thames there was actually frozen all the time. And we also have different kinds of robots that are put into work. In terms of the cases they were investigating, there were actually two. The first one is about a mysterious kidnapping of a man. It was witnessed by a woman because of some secret message on the paper, and so she finds the private detectives for help. The second case is a series of impossible robberies. It all happened in the vaults of different banks and luckily there was nothing major being stolen. And also, one thing in common is, it all got one person trapped in the fort. So now, Fleet and Kara find some sort of clue, some sort of pattern, and they have to solve this riddle. So far, I found this book entertaining and funny. The plot itself is not overly complicated and it is quite easy to follow. The thing here is, I am not good at humor. Some I may get it, but some I may not. I'm pretty sure it's my problem because when I watch comedy, let's say, I don't get every punchline, so when I read books that are full of jokes, I'm not good at it simply. But definitely, I will keep on reading this one and fingers crossed I can finish it by the end of the week. I hope that I can finish this book on Friday because it is already May and I am still reading my April's book. I need to start my May TBR. So I guess I will see you in a bit once I got a little bit more of clues, directions, or even twist, hopefully. So I'll see you later. Bye. Oi! By the way, I forgot one thing. I actually got a book mail today, so I guess we will open it together now. Yes, I finally got it. It is called Killer by Hannah Kana, the first book of a new series, but I forgot what it is called. I don't know much about this series, but I read a little bit of it last year, I guess, in a bookshop, and the second book of the series is actually out already, so I guess I need to catch up with it. I believe it is about, like the title of this book, Killing the Gods. That's pretty much all I know about this series, but I think it is so easy to read and it is quite well loved by the community. But I don't see I will read it anytime soon. I buy it because of FOMO. I couldn't find any hardcovers of it. 1 or 2 weeks ago, there were literally no way you can get a hardcover of this series. But now I think the situation is a little bit better, but I don't know when I will read it. I guess the soonest I will read it maybe in the summer, hopefully August-ish. I can't promise because you can tell already my TBR is actually pretty full for the next couple of months, but hopefully I will get to it really soon because it is not thick as well. This time I'm really going to read, so I guess I will see you in the next update. So, see ya! So here comes to the end of this week reading vlog. I am so thrilled because I have also finished High Voltage. Overall, it is fun and entertaining. There are jokes and humors that remind me of classic British comedy. And the chemistry between our two main characters, a retired detective and a young girl that is full of energy, is also interesting. But in terms of the crime here, overall it is still like a private detective solving a case situation book. I am not a biggest fan of it. A third into the story, you will probably guess the direction this book is going for. There are not too many suspects, and it is just like a waiting game and say you are the mastermind behind all of these shits. Coming to the second half of it, we clearly know who did all of it. I started to lose interest when it comes to the ending because we all know the answers, and there are not too many turns, twists, or smoke about the suspects. So if you're looking for a crime story, I don't think this book is the best. There is definitely a second book about this pair of detectives, and quite likely I won't pick that book up. And I would say perhaps this book is my least favorite Ghostbird book of this year. So now I can officially start my Maze book, and this month is a little bit special because we're gonna play a little game, choosing my very first book to read in May by voting in the community. According to the poll, I have to read The Book That Broke the World by Mark Lawrence. In case you can't tell by this cover, you can tell by the spray edge. It is the book. I am only 2 chapters in, so I can't really say too much about it, but we start with a new POV. I will keep on reading this book in the bank holiday weekend, and perhaps in the next reading vlog, I will talk about this book a little bit more because you guys choose this book for me, so I assume you are curious about it as well. It is a new release. This week I'm quite happy because I have finally cleared my April's TBR and I can start my Maze book. So if you have enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give it a like. If you don't want to miss any content from me, make sure you have subscribed to my channel. I will see you real soon. Goodbye.